All right then. All right then. We are live. Yo, yo, yo. What is good, YouTube? What is good, gamers? It is your boy Lincoln Clay coming back at you with another live stream. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Yo, yo, yo. What's up? What's up, Evil? What's up? Do me a favor, hit that like button, help spread my content to a wider audience. Make sure you hit the bell icon so you can stay notified whenever I put out new content. I would appreciate that. Um, if you're a new subscriber, welcome to the channel. Hope you're enjoying the content. Um, also, I want to remind everyone that I am still having the 8 o'clock podcast with King Thrash, so you don't want to miss that. Make sure you tune into that. And so, got kind of a busy day today, but I got all the greetings, all that stuff out of the way. So I think let's get straight into the subject. In last couple of months, a lot of PlayStation 5 rumors have been, going around. And in the beginning, I really didn't think anything of it because, I figured it was just, some YouTubers trying to get views. So I didn't really think anything of it, just, went in one ear and out the other. And even when people like Michael Pachter speaks, um, I don't really read too much into it because he makes his predictions based on the current state of the industry and probably looking at sales charts. He doesn't have any inside information from what I'm gathering. So, his prediction is no different than mine. So the only difference is he's getting paid for it. So anyway, whenever a rumor turns up where somebody is claiming to have inside information, that gets my attention. Like when Dreamcast guy had some information about the next Xbox, and when Foxy Games UK had some uh information about the PS5. So now I guess the latest piece of information that came out, I'm sure a lot of you know about it by now. It is a whopper. It's coming from some site called semiaccurate.com. And I've guessed in the past they've you know leaked out information and it turned out to be true. I guess they had, leaked out some information about Nintendo working with AMD. I believe. I didn't get too deep into that, but I guess they leaked out information that proved to be true about the PlayStation Pro. Before that came out, they leaked out information about the Xbox One X when it was still Project Scorpio, and I guess that turned out to be right. So I guess they are a credible source. But this go around, from what I'm hearing, is the information they got on the PlayStation was locked behind a $1,000 paywall. So I guess you got to subscribe to get this juicy inside information, which costs about $1,000 a month. I don't know who in their right mind would pay a monthly subscription fee of that kind of money. Um, Shit. I mean, some people barely make $1,000 a month, let alone, a subscription for $1,000 a month. I don't think I can't see anybody in their right mind subscribing to a site like this unless they believe the information these people are leaking out is concrete and you are a company or a person that stands to gain or lose millions of dollars. Um, but in any case, the information got out. And so, according to them, the PS5, I guess we're talking 20 teraflops of power, VR baked into the system. I guess a bunch of dev kits are out in the wild, and they are predicting a 2018 release. So, what do I think about that? Well, we'll start with the 20 teraflops of power. Um, if somebody would have said that to me, 2 years ago, I would have said that's ridiculous. But now I'm not so sure. I guess if they can achieve it, it will probably be because of that rapid pack math that they were talking about, a year and a half ago or something like that with the PlayStation Pro that had everybody thinking that the Pro could double its power. So, that one, I'm stuck in the middle on that one. I just guess we'll just have to wait and see. Um, but it would definitely be nice. That would that would probably make the graphics and the stuff like that like completely off the meter. Um, Let me see. The VR baked in, that part I do believe. That would be huge for me, being that I'm a person that's been pushing the PlayStation VR narrative. That would be huge because if the VR is baked into the console, that pretty much means the VR in its current state right now will be, definitely minus the processor box that you have to deal with right now. So I think it might be just one cable running from the console to the headset. And with this rumored 20 teraflops of power, shit, and then the whatever iteration of the headset that Sony is going to come out with, shit, whatever you seeing through the VR headset might be about as clear as what you would see on the TV. So that speaks volumes. That makes me very optimistic about the PlayStation VR. Um, I'd probably, of course, I'd have to reinvest in it again. I would have to buy whatever new headset is coming out. Not to mention that I've mentioned it before that Sony filed a patent. You know what? Just a minute. And I want everybody to see this. Give me a second. Oops. One second. Okay. I want to share my screen with you because I've been talking about this controller for the longest, and I'm just, now that I just now learning how to use some of this Google Hangouts, I can show it to you. Whoops, not that. Here we go, right here. This is presumably the new Move controller for the next generation of VR. Um, and right here where my cursor is, I guess that right there is pressure sensitive. Um, Whatever game you might be playing will react to how hard you squeeze it. Naturally, there's your triggers. There's your big your buttons right here that looks like this. Your bumpers, your R1. But this right here is huge. A thumbstick on that. That thumbstick right there seems simple to you, but it means a lot to me. What that means is VR games, once this controller is out, VR games going forward, teleportation as the method of travel will probably be gone. It would probably be a thing of the past. Very smooth motion definitely reduces motion sickness. For some people who not used to it, teleportation might cause a little bit of motion sickness. I built up a tolerance for it now, but I would definitely favor this move stick. So, all right, let me get back to. Oops. Oh, now I got to bring up my screen again. Be patient with me, people. I got to get back to the YouTube page so I can respond to any comments. Doggone it. So if you made any comments, just give me a second. I will get to them. I promise. I'm just bringing them up, bringing back up the YouTube page. Da, 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 da. Okay. What's up? What's up, Vidiot? What's going on? Okay, so back to what I was saying. So I sincerely hope that the VR is baked into this console, but I envision that anyway. Also, what that means for VR is I think it is very well possible that a few years down the line we will see. Um, okay, no problem. I think this very well means that somewhere down the line, a few years from now, you could see a bunch of AAA titles, with VR mode added. I think in a few years we really could see Battlefield or Call of Duty type games in VR. Now, I really think that's possible. And I hope that I hope it is. Now, what else did I say? I guess there's a bunch of dev kits out in the wild. Well, he's going off of the same rumors that Crap Gamer's going off of the same rumors um that I kind of found out about, because a lot of these rumors have been going around from a bunch of YouTubers, but once the No said something about it, then I had to watch the video to see what they were talking about. And so apparently, there's a bunch of dev kits out in the wild. And because of that, semiaccurate.com believes that the PS5 will release in 2018. That's just a hunch on their part because of all the dev kits that are out in the wild. I do not believe it will release in 2018. Right. Um, So this is phenomenal news to me to know that the VR is going to be baked into the console video, because that reaffirms that Sony is staying committed to PlayStation VR. They should, because right now they lead the market in VR. They have I want to guess about 2.5 million headsets out there, and I think they can reach 3 million by the end of the year. I'm hoping for 5. And so I do not believe that the PS5 will release in 2018, but I do believe that because there are a bunch of dev kits out in the wild, I do believe that if the PS5 releases in 2019, that there will be a good number of exclusives ready to go when the console launches, which would be huge. And so Sony will be doing a Sega. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Skip Bayless? I'll wait for your comment, but I'll keep going until I see it, because it takes a few seconds, for you to hear whatever I'm saying, for you to type your comment in, for it to make its way back to me. That whole process takes a few seconds. All right. See, with the Sega Saturn, um, the internet wasn't out there the way it is now. So, you know, these days with the internet, if somebody gets up and goes to the bathroom and take a crap, um, it can get out on the internet within seconds. So when the Sega Saturn turned up, it popped up out of nowhere. But I did know that the Dreamcast was coming when it came out, because Sega was putting it out there that was encouraging third party support. I guess that a lot of critics believe that was the problem with the Sega Saturn, is that they didn't have third party support, or they basically wouldn't let anybody make games for the Saturn. They had their own lineup of games. But they saw the success of the PS1 because it had a ton of games. And so they, when the Dreamcast came out, they got on board and started letting third party, or wanting third party, to make games for the Dreamcast. But I think by then it was too little too late. Evil Predator, you hope they improve the PS5 controller over the PS4. Myself, I'm fine with the DualShock 4. I think it's just as good a controller as the Xbox controller. I'm so used to the DualShock 4 controller that I can play with either controller. And as far as what you're saying, Xbox Video, I would agree. I don't think it's going to be a surprise launch, but I do think they will tease something at E3 this year. I think they're going to drop something. Even if they show you a banner that says PS5, coming whenever, I think they're going to let us know something. There's just too much shit coming out now for something not to be said at E3. And actually, I was these rumors, I was thinking to myself, if this shit is true, I was like thinking to myself, oh my God, imagine how those games are going to look. I absolutely cannot wait. Now, as far as people getting upset about Microsoft or Sony putting out another console so soon, in the case of the PS5, if it launched tomorrow, I would buy it. Only if the PS5 launched tomorrow, the only thing that would really have an effect on me is the backwards compatibility. Why? Because if it comes with backwards compatibility, all that means is that I can sell my PlayStation Pro, so I can have one less console sitting on my TV stand. If they do not have backwards compatibility, I will simply keep my PS4 until I knock out my backlog. So I think right now, I think Sony knows with all these games they have right now, I think the PS5 is a lot more attractive if they let people take their backlog over to the PS5 with them. So I think it will be backwards compatible. I've been hearing that too much, so I'm going with the flow on that one. And while it's not mandatory, it would be cool, because like I said, if it's not backwards compatible, I'm fine with that. In fact, if Sony would need to omit backwards compatibility to make the console more affordable, then I'm all for it. Because whatever they come out with, I'm hoping they still targeting $400 as a launch price. Even if the console is not 20 teraflops, as semi accurate is leaking, reporting, whatever you want to call it, I'm still okay with the original 10 to 12 teraflops that I heard about. So either one of them, is still a good console. So I'm fine with it. I'll still buy the PS5 day one. Sony has already said they're doubling down on their first party games. And now Semi-Automatic has reported that all these dev kits are out in the wild. And so that leads me to believe there would be a good number of games ready to go when the PS5 launches. So shit, if they make an announcement at E3, the only thing they got to tell me is when will the pre-order start. So, but what does that mean for the Xbox? Because I'm thinking Microsoft is going to be coming out with something totally different. I'm thinking that they're going to be coming out with some kind of streaming device, some Fire Stick type of console. I've said it numerous times. I've been saying this for months. I don't think the Xbox 2, whatever they want to call it, I do not think it's going to have a disk drive. I think it's only going to have just enough memory to function, because everything's going to be powered by the cloud, my guess, if they have this thing up and running the way they want to. So but I see that having a rocky start because if this thing is full blown cloud gaming when the next iteration of the Xbox comes out, and it is one of those situations like the PlayStation Now where your experience depends on what kind of internet you have. That's not going to fly with me because I think internet is way too expensive, especially with AT&T, because they are straight raping me, because I'm paying $70 a month for 18 megs down and I think two up. But I would rather deal with AT&T than Comcast because even though I'm paying a lot, that's straightforward. My bill is straightforward. There's no bullshit. I get a monthly bill. It says what I owe. I jump on the app and I pay it right then and there from the phone. Whereas Comcast, you get all this bullshit with them. If you get caught up in that triple play, you're gonna be seeing, bills like $300-400 a month with lame ass explanations about why you owe because we bill a month ahead, charges, surcharges, fees, all kinds of other bullshit. And then you jump on the phone and end up having to talk to somebody that barely speaks English, all kinds of bullshit. I damn near hate Comcast with a passion. I almost broke down and got internet from them, though, a couple of weeks ago because they had a package for 25 megs down for $25, $25 a month for 1 year. And once the promo ends, it jumps up to $50. That's still cheaper than what I'm paying, but I do not trust Comcast because somehow I got the funny feeling I'm going to be seeing some bills for $150. Not to mention that when I went to go download the Comcast app, there were people on there in the comment in the when they left comments about the app, they were talking about how the app said they had a zero balance and they ended up getting their internet shut off because they thought they had a zero balance and didn't owe anything, but Comcast is telling them you owe this, you owe that, so Comcast is some slimy bastards. They're number one on my most hated list. So keep that in mind too. When the Xbox 2 comes out, if it's full blown cloud gaming, you better hope your internet company doesn't plan to lick the chops and rape your ass when this shit, when it comes out. But the PS5, what does this mean for the Xbox? I don't know how else to put it. I think when the next generation starts, if both of these consoles launch at the same time, I think the PS5 is going to kick Xbox ass. I'm wondering when E3 comes around if Microsoft makes some kind of announcement about the Xbox 2 or whatever they want to call it. I'm wondering how many people are going to get mad because they just bought an Xbox X just back this past November. I mean, for those of you who bought the Xbox One X, some of you are already pissed off as it is that you're not getting any games. And then here it is, what? The Xbox One X has been out for almost 6 months now. It hasn't even been out, a year yet, and you may already get an announcement on the Xbox 2. So I think that might have some people pissed off. And so, little by little, I'm hearing about people saying they're done with the Xbox until they show them something. So, we know it. We've heard it a million times. Wait till E3. I'll say it once and for all. If Microsoft does not come up with a damn miracle this year at E3, they are finished. I mean, yeah, they'll have enough money to stick around. They have enough money to stick around in the gaming industry as long as they want. But I mean, in terms of the user base, if they have a shitty E3, they are going to lose an astronomical amount of gamers. They will probably defect to the PS5. I mean, a lot of them, even though they won't admit it, a lot of them are already halfway there right now. I said it before and I said it again. I believe even the toxic, fanboys have both consoles. So this is interesting. So, I mean, again, 20 teraflops of power, VR baked in. And if they still hit a $400 price tag, that would be phenomenal. So, um, truth be told, even if the PS5 had the same amount of power as the Xbox One X, I would probably still buy it. As ridiculous as that sounds, based on, just based on the track record of the last couple of years, they've been delivering games. They still got a bunch of games lined up for this year, next year. I think they're going to keep the ball rolling with the next generation. So, um, that is the main reason why I plan on buying a PS5 day one. And that's just based on me believing that Sony will have a good number of games ready for it when it launches. If they don't, they will be coming, they'll be coming shortly. And over there on the other side, you're still getting leaks and rumors. Um, but I guess as far as I'm concerned, I'll just go right out and say it. I think unless they have a miracle this year at E3, they are dead. So only the toxic people are still talking about hanging around. Everybody else, even if they still want to stick around, they still let it be known that they want games. And then that's the other thing here. And then that's the other thing. Since Game Pass is an integral part of whatever Microsoft is planning for the future, what kind of games are they going to deliver us? Now, that's another thing. That could be a raping waiting to happen. Because even if they do, when the next generation comes around, even if they do have some good games, I think they gonna pull some of this shit like they're doing with Sea of Thieves. Like King Thrash said, they're gonna release the game in pieces to keep people tied in the Game Pass. And I think that's going to absolutely suck for the people who pay $60 or maybe even $70 when this next generation starts. Who knows? These games might jump up to $70. Whatever the price is, somebody pay full retail for a game and then still have to pay for 19 pieces of DLC because Microsoft is going to try to stretch them out over the next couple of years to get all that Game Pass money. That's going to be some bullshit. I mean, that kind of stuff, just because of that, I just have no interest in getting the console. I have no interest in being in their ecosystem. Um, and shit, I'm, I'm currently on a 1 year Xbox Live membership, and I don't play any games on my Xbox. The only reason why, I even have the Xbox Live membership is because I can share it with my son, and he still plays Roblox online. So even though that should be a free to play game where Xbox Live shouldn't even be involved, it is what it is. You have to have an Xbox Live membership to play any multiplayer game on there. You know, I can get behind that video about being a console collector, and I guess if I was like that, then yeah, I would have bought an Xbox One X just so I can add it to the collection. But my consoles get use. You can tell by all the dust that builds up in them from the fans and shit. You own 28 game systems now. Um, I said it before, because of my age, I've pretty much watched the evolution of video games almost from when they first started. My parents gave me my first console, I think, in 1977. So every time the new technology comes out and it takes, the graphics gameplay, um, processing power, and all that kind of shit. Every time it takes that shit to the next level, I move with it, and and then whatever was behind me, it stays behind me. Because if that was not the case, I had an Xbox 360 Slim that was modified um, to play burnt games on it, and I had almost 300 games that I burned for that Xbox. And when I got the PS4, um, I was pretty much done. I was pretty much done with the 360, and somebody think I was smoking crack for it, but I sold that Xbox 360 Slim with those 300 games, a Kinect camera, a Rock Band guitar, a DJ Hero turntable, all that shit for $50. Now, as far as the systems that I've had, I had the 2600, the 5200, um, and then let me see. I think I bought the Sega Genesis, and it came with Sonic, and that was the last console that I had because, because of my age, I was out in them streets. Yeah, I remember the Panasonic 3DO. I remember that. It was a console that I was curious about, but never got it because not only that Panasonic 3DO came out during the time when I was out in them streets chasing after women and all kinds of shit. So the Sega Genesis was my last console, and I did not come back to gaming until I got that Sega Saturn. That's when I came back to gaming, and I've been back ever since. I just didn't get caught up in all this, YouTube shit and stuff like that. I mean, when I had a Sega Saturn and I had the PS1, when I was buying games from GameStop, I was, getting the magazine so I can, because that's how you found out what was coming up next. Yeah, $700. That's shit. That's crazy, Vidiot. But like in terms of using YouTube as a tool right now, in terms of using YouTube as my source of information for gaming, I didn't really start doing that until like the last 2-3 years. I mean, during the 360 generation, the only time like that I would use YouTube as far as gaming goes is like one of the ways I was using YouTube during the 360 generation was when I caught the red rings of death. Um, I was seeing the videos about the towel tricks and shit like that, and I was trying it, and the towel trick only worked for about 10 minutes. You fire your box up, it would work for about 10 minutes, and then the red rings, it would shut off and the red rings would pop up. So yeah, only in the last 2-3 years have I used YouTube in a manner that I'm using it now in terms of gaming. So yeah, back then, I guess back then during the Sega Saturn, PS1, I just played games. I didn't really care that it was a console war or something like that. The first time my feelings got hurt when it comes to this console shit was when Sega announced that they were getting out of the console business, and they weren't going to be making any more consoles. I was hurt, and I kind of blamed it on Xbox, because it was like Sega's getting out, Microsoft is coming in, and they're taking all the shit that Sega did, because that console, the Dreamcast, was ahead of its time with the online gaming. It had a web browser on it. Shit, on the Sega Dreamcast, I created my first profile on a dating network. It was a dating site called dating.com. I created a profile through the Dreamcast. The only thing was I didn't have a picture, because back then the Dreamcast just wasn't powerful enough to upload pictures and shit like that. And it didn't have a camera. Back in the day, we got our monthly news from Electronic Game Monthly. Yeah, I mean, I got those kind of magazines back then, Vidiot. When I would buy games, a lot of time they would ask me, "You want the latest magazine?" Because it was free. So why not take it and keep up on the news? So I don't know, but now you got this crazy ass shit, death threats, damn civil wars, and within communities and um, people getting voted out of their out of their podcast groups, just all kinds of crazy shit these days. I said it before and I say it again. I never thought in my wildest days, in terms of the toxicity, in terms of a council war or something like that, I never thought in my wildest days it would get at this level. I mean, it's shit like a soap opera now. I mean, when I get up in the morning, I'm like, the first thing I do is check my phone to see if any kind of crazy ass news popped up. So you see, it's almost 6 o'clock. I think I'll wrap this up in a few minutes. I still have to do my cardio. And I still have to finish getting together my list of questions for King Thrash, because we are still a go for 8 o'clock this evening, 8 o'clock Eastern time. So make sure you check us out. Don't miss that. Um, and King Thrash is he's one of those bring it on type of guys that I can pretty much ask him any question. Um, So I'll ask him some questions to get good honest answers out of him, but I won't ask him any questions that'll cross the line. That's not me. Um, Never have been that way, and never will be. So right now, in terms of YouTube, I've kind of accomplished my goal with YouTube, in terms of um that I grew my channel enough that now this is like the third or fourth time that when I streamed, people were coming in commenting, and that's really all I wanted, was to be able to have a conversation. If I'm streaming, and you want to comment on something I'm saying, jump in and say it. Even if it's even if it's something you disagree with, feel free to try, feel free to chime in. So yeah, I think that's about all I got. I'm trying to think of what else I can talk about, but not too much. Um, I'm looking at my screen and see, I mean, all I'm seeing on the up next, because I'm watching my page, so I'm watching the live stream, even though I got the volume turned down. And then how it says up next, all the videos for autoplay and shit like that. All I'm seeing, it either has some kind of Spider-Man or some kind of God of War attached to it. And so I think it's going to be interesting to see what the atmosphere is going to be like as we draw closer to God of War. I mean, what's the date today? Thursday, April 5th. So we got 15, we got 2 weeks. I think we got 2 weeks from tomorrow. I also believe that is I also think that's the day that the Avengers Infinity War releases. So if that's the case, it's going to be a wonderful weekend. Let me double check that Avengers Infinity War. Let me check that release date, because I know it comes out this month. I just don't know the exact day. Then we still got, Yakuza 6. Not gonna be a day one purchase for me, but I really do want it. Uh, Thursday, April 26th. That's when Infinity War comes out. So put that on my calendar. Take my son to see it that Friday. So And back to the Gears of War thing. Um, I'm not sure if I want to get the deluxe version so I can get the little statue and stuff like that. Um, but I also want to pre-order it so the game will unlock at midnight so I can get to it and start playing right then and there. Um, Normally when a game that I'm really really looking for comes out, I um I normally take the day off, especially like with MLB The Show. That was a given. Every year I would take the day off for that game. But because I'm starting over with a new job, I got to get my time in. So it's probably going to be like another 8 9 months or something like that before I get some vacation time. So I got to keep it clean till then. But I don't plan on doing anything stupid with this job anyway. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I need to knock out these questions that I need to get ready for King Thrash. And as I said before, check back at 8 o'clock Eastern time, as he will be my guest. Um, and just like with Xbox Video and Gunru Gaming is going to be a great show. So don't you dare miss it. And so with that being said, I think I'm gonna get on out of here and get to getting on what I got to do so I get ready. Um, so I'll see y'all in a couple hours. This is your boy Lincoln Clay. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you happen to catch it on a replay, I appreciate that as well. Make sure you give it a like. I would appreciate it. And I'll see y'all in a couple of hours. And I am out.